Hello, boys and girls. It's Art at Home with Mrs. Koshland. If you're looking for something to do, well, I have the perfect project for you. The challenge is to create a book about the travels or adventures of the crayons. All you need are several pieces of white paper, a pencil and an eraser for your sketch, a black pen or a black colored pencil to outline your drawing, and of course your crayons. The idea here is to think about your different colors, and for each color, think where it might want to go or what it might want to do. There are thousands of possibilities. Let's think about the gray crayon. What does it remind you of? When I think of gray, I think of an elephant. So I drew a picture of a gray crayon riding on the back of an elephant through a forest. Now, I could have done something different. I could have had the gray crayon washing or giving the elephant a bath at the zoo. I also added the word gray down here. Now, you don't have to do that, but that's kind of fun if you want to go ahead and write the word that goes with the color. Let's think about the color blue. When I think of blue, I think of the ocean. So here we have the blue crayon in a boat in the ocean. I could add the word blue somewhere to my drawing, or I could even write a sentence to go with my drawing. The blue crayon went sailing in the ocean and watched colorful fish jump out of the waves. The thing to keep in mind when you're drawing your picture is what direction you want to draw your crayon. This one is standing in a boat, so I have him straight up. The same with this one on the elephant. He's straight up with his legs hanging over the side of the elephant. But let's say your crayon was on a slide. You might want to draw your crayon in a diagonal position. Or look at this crayon who's at the beach, laying flat on the beach, and oh, look at that, he's reading a book. I like to draw with a pencil first and then outline with the black marker, like this right here. And then I like to color it in with my crayons. When you're done with all of your pages, you can staple them together and make a book. And then you can have fun reading your book back to yourself. Or you can add more pages when you think about new ideas. You could create a completely different book, maybe about the travels of your crayons. Maybe one of the crayons goes to Hawaii and another one goes to Africa. You could have a lot of fun with that. Or maybe you just pick one crayon. This book could be The Adventures of the Purple Crayon. Once there was a purple crayon who sat down in his garden to eat some delicious purple grapes. Suddenly, he saw a beautiful purple butterfly flutter by. He decided to follow the butterfly. The butterfly led him to a forest where the trees were blossoming with big purple flowers. All of a sudden, a huge cloud filled the sky and it started to rain. But instead of raindrops, it rained purple jelly beans. Oh my, that was a surprise. And then what happens? Well, all kinds of things can keep happening, and you can continue with the story. All of my ideas are on one page, but you can have your ideas on separate pages in your book. If you need help writing your story, you can have someone else write it for you after you've finished your pages. So if you know what you want to do, you can go ahead and get started. However, if you need some guidance drawing a crayon, I am going to do an example of a page right now, and you can take a look. Let's say I am going to pick the red crayon. So what comes to mind for me are apples. I think that I will have an apple tree, and I will have my red crayon picking apples off of the apple tree. I will start my picture by drawing my red crayon. And if I look at this shape of the wrapper and of the crayon, it's just a long rectangular shape. So I am using my regular pencil and I am going to draw my crayon over here. I think I'll have my tree over on this side. And I'm just making a rectangle shape. Then I am going to put the top of my crayon on. Now this one does not have a very sharp tip, but I like it better when it has the pointy tip. So that is what I am going to do. And then I think that I will have some big eyes, and since my tree is over here, I will have it looking over there and a nice big smile. Now I will look at the designs on the wrapper. Your crayons may look different than mine, so look at the wrapper and draw what you see. I'm using Crayola crayons. Now I am looking at the designs here, and I see this like wiggly line, and then it looks like the bottom of the wrapper, so I'll put the bottom of the wrapper there, and then these wiggly lines, and it also has this shape here. I'm only going to show part of the shape. You can show the whole shape. I'm just going to show part of it. And I think that I will have my crayon reaching up to pick the apples, and maybe down here it will be holding a basket. And let's see, I guess I need some legs. There we go. And now I'll make a basket so that he can collect his apples in the basket. And maybe draw a couple of apples in there. Now over on this side, I will draw my tree. Now you can draw your tree any way that you want to draw your tree. This is just a simple tree. I'm going to put some apples. I can even add some extra leaves going in all different directions. Remember that this is just the idea that I came up with. You're going to come up with your own ideas. Now I'm ready to trace over this with a black pen. I'm just using a Crayola pen. If you don't have a black pen, you can use a black colored pencil. You could even use a black crayon. It's just a little bit harder to trace over your lines with a crayon. So I am just tracing over my pencil lines with my pen. I'll make this a little bit thicker here because these lines are fairly thick, so I'm thickening that up. And this looks like it's colored in. There he is picking the apples. I have 3 fingers on mine. I don't know how many fingers you'll have on yours. Here's my basket. Use your imagination. You might be thinking of some other things you could add to this drawing. And then you can also do your tree. If you have any pencil lines that are showing, you can go ahead and erase those. Then I'm going to color this in. And if I am looking at my red crayon, I can see that it's darker here, and then this is lighter, the wrapper is lighter. So I'll make this darker by pressing hard, and this. And then the wrapper is light, so I will press very lightly in order to get a light red. I think he'll have on red shoes, and he has collected red apples. Now, not everything has to be red. I might want to make my basket a brown color, and then my leaves will be green. Same thing with your tree over here. You could color in your apples red, but maybe your tree and the leaves could be green, and the trunk could be brown. Color it the way you would imagine it to be. I hope that helps you when you're drawing your crayon pages. I know you probably have a lot of ideas that you want to put down in your book. Use your imagination. So, go ahead and get started. Have fun and happy coloring. Bye-bye.